How's it going, Katie?
I'm good. I had the craziest thing happen this morning. I mean, it's not the craziest, but I was making Bandon breakfast and I bought like one of those large packs of the Gatorade minis. Because he's like out riding his bike with his buddies, or he has baseball and he has baseball camp. It's easy. So I buy the ones with no dye. So they're like whitish, clearish, right? So he comes to me this morning. He's like, Mom, look inside this one. And I was like, oh my God. So we turned it like this. We're turning it up and down, up and down. There's like black mold floating through the whole thing. And it's like chunks, like big chunks.
No.
Some of it looks like jellyfish, like it's blobs. And you can't see those ones really well. I took a video of it.
Yeah.
And so I opened it on camera so that Gatorade could tell like we didn't put something in it. And it's cracked open and there is chunks of black and clear mold. And I was like, I've been feeding this to my child.
Oh my God. Has he grown a third arm or anything like that? Or are we good?
He's going to be like Spider-Man. He'll start climbing the walls.
He would probably think it was cool. I mean.
I was like, what the hell? What is wrong? Oh my God.
That is insane. Did you reach out to them or?
I posted a video and tagged them.
Oh, wow.
First we have cyclospora. Then people are dying of salmonella and this weird yeast that's now going around. And Gatorade. God. I'm like, what happened to our regulation of foods? And I mean, it's really bad. Well, we know
I can tell you what happened, but we won't get into it.
It's the orange man.
Hey, I mean, if I were to put money on it, I would say that's it. I remember buying when Stevie was a toddler, some like juice boxes. And, you know, like at that time, I like was totally sold on like, and I still do. I buy a lot of like organic, you know, farm raised, blah, blah, blah. And I bought these like organic juices. I can't remember the brand or anything like that, but I remember taking one out of the fridge and it literally just, the mold was on the outside of the carton at this point. It was literally growing like dust on the out. It was disgusting. And I'm like I mean, a lot of people are, but I am so averse to freaking mold and the way it looks and the way it smells and what it can do to you. Like one of my biggest fears in life is to have like a mold overgrowth in my house and I'm breathing it in and who knows what the that does to you.
Bad things. Really, really bad.
Things.
Oh my
I'm already in perimenopause. I cannot have a mold outbreak in my house. My brain is already affected. No amount of creatine or meth, like we've talked about in the past, can help my slow brain in perimenopause. I can't do a mold overgrowth. Like I just can't.
No.
That is really scary. I think that they'll probably end up like reaching out to you. And here's the thing. I love Gatorade. And please, Gatorade, if you want to sponsor our show.
Please, we need it. And also, I'll forgive you then.
Yes, we'll only forgive you for Bandon's third arm if you sponsor Bravo's Most Wanted.
Might help. I mean, he's very serious about baseball. Might help him. It'd give him a leg up on the competition.
What would that wouldn't be ambidextrous. That's like something adextrous. Like, what do
you? They already think I'm a alien in the Housewives realm, so this would be perfect. This would go with the flow.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine what they would be saying online? Oh my God! Now Katie's son's got a third arm. I told you she was a weirdo.
At least he's not starting fires.
Ooh, at least there's that. At least there's that. God dang it. You're never going to let that woman live that down. Okay. No. Okay, before we get into, so you and I are going to talk about Atlanta, which I can't wait because obviously these women bring me so much joy. But there were a couple of things I wanted to discuss before we get into it. Number one, these resurfaced clips of Vicki Gunvalson's son-in-law, Ryan, and obviously everybody already knows what I'm talking about, the horrible way that he treated Lydia's mom, the way that he treated Vicki, his mother-in-law, the way he treated Vicki's brother, everybody, the way he disrespected and gave his wife such anxiety. You could see that. And here's the thing, as pissed off as I am about the way that Briana then and also now or somewhat recently has continued to deflect and defend this man's behavior. Right. There is no defense. Right. It is as pissed off as I am at her for doing that. I also think, and I'm going to go dark, there's also an aspect of if something's going on in their house that is abusive, maybe allegedly perhaps, if that's going on, I can imagine if that were the case, a wife defending her husband to the death because she may be afraid of catching his wrath if he gets too worked up or pissed off about being held accountable for his abusive behavior toward others. So I can just see like maybe it's a protection mechanism. Maybe it's because Brianna's toxic too and thinks that it's okay to treat women that way. Maybe she's holding up the patriarchy and standing by her man. I really don't know. But it is such trash. But the reason why I'm bringing it up, again, I know you and I briefly chatted about it on a previous episode, is that I've now seen an interview with Vicki Gunvalson. And I remember when this happened, when Ryan was so rude, not rude, abusive, verbally abusive toward Lydia's mom. Vicki was like pissed off. And she's like, I've had enough of it. This is my house. I'm not going to have him. Well, now on the red carpet, she's like, yeah, I have heard everybody talking about that. And you know what? Ryan's a perfect husband. They have a perfect marriage and everybody just needs to shut up. That's her response now to her son-in-law. Everybody needs to shut up, Katie.
Do you know what it gives? It's giving Nia and Danny. That's what it's giving to me.
Absolutely. It's absolutely giving that energy.
It's very sad. And the thing that confuses me is Vicki has a past that we have discussed about men in her life that were not good choices. So why would she want that for her daughter? And excuse it too? You know, the other thing that I have thought about many times now that all of this is resurfacing, the clips. Briana is a nurse, correct? She's a registered nurse. When I had dinner at Vicki's house, Vicki was telling me that she was the leader of
there's an MLM that her and Ryan have been hawking these bullshit oils, I think is what they are.
It's called
bullshit in my opinion.
Right. I was just trying to look it up, what company it was, because everyone would know what company it is. Now I can't figure it out. But yeah, she's a nurse. She should know this is wrong. Also, you're saying your daughter's a business owner. She's not a business owner. That's what they call them to make them feel like they have a placement in their company. All she's doing is making money off of people and for a corporation.
She's not a business owner. She owns 0% in that MLM.
Correct.
She's not a business owner. She is a person who is trying to gather other people to go under her because people are the monetary gain in MLMs. Like the more people you have under you to go and hawk these bullshit products, in my very strong opinion, the more money you can make. But if you don't get in at the very beginning of an MLM, chances are you're going to not only not make money, you're going to lose a shit ton of money. These things, in my very strong opinion, are a fucking scam. They are very, 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 very adjacent to a pyramid scheme, in my opinion. Very much. You're right. It's like, why would I always am going to be sus if anybody in the medical profession is allegedly hawking, any kind of fucking oils and making any kind of claims. I'm not saying Briana has, because I haven't, quite frankly, followed anything she said about these oils. But I've seen it before. They tend to make these claims, these wild claims about oils. Oh, if you've got a backache, put the oil on. If you've got cramps from your menstrual cycle, put this oil on. If you've got a headache, put the fucking oil on. It's not Tylenol. Okay, it's not ibuprofen. I'm super sus, and I'm glad that you brought that up because MLMs are just trash in my opinion. And so it sort of tracks that she and Ryan allegedly are hawking these weird products with this weird MLM. And it's not a business, like you said. And here's what I'm going to say, because I always try to see both sides, or at least I try to see both sides. And I'm not giving Vicki any excuses, okay? But I'm just asking a question, and I want to get your take on it. Okay. Just like I said earlier that perhaps Briana is experiencing a dangerous home life with Ryan, perhaps. And so maybe she's in protection mode or self-preservation mode and trying to keep herself safe when she goes home. And maybe that's why she defends him. Maybe that's one reason why, okay? Maybe, perhaps, Vicki might be also doing the same thing because that's her daughter. Let's just play pretensies. I don't know anything, okay? So this is all just, not even alleged. This is just a theory for conversation purposes. If Briana has a dangerous home life, and if her mom, Vicki, knows about it, I wonder as a mom if you would defend indefensible behavior if you thought it would keep your daughter safer? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I have very, very strong thoughts about this because in my situation, my mom knew what was going on under my roof with my first marriage. She came home to my home and saw bruises, cuts, and scrapes on me. She saw my head bleeding one time. She did nothing but do what Vicki does, which is defending allegedly a man, Brianna's husband, or abusive behavior. And we're not saying that Ryan, Brianna's husband, is physically abusive. I'm just talking about my situation.
We don't know that. There's been a lot of talk about it, and based on the way he behaved on the show, maybe.
Yeah. So my parents did that, and they thought that they were, protecting me, I guess, and maybe not speaking anything. I have told them so many times, I might have been an adult, even early 20s, but you as my parents should have gotten me out of that situation. Because if that was going on with Kylie, I don't care what it is. If he says some choice words to her, makes her feel small, whatever, you're out of that fucking situation. You're moving in with me, and I'm going to help you leave that man. My parents did what we are thinking, allegedly coming up with a scenario that Vicki is doing. And I would never, I would, if somebody did what my ex-husband did to Kylie, what he did to me, he'd be buried in my yard. He would literally be buried in my backyard. So I have very, very strong feelings about that. And if that is allegedly what Vicki is potentially doing, shame on her, big time.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you. And as a mom, very fortunately, I have not been in that situation. And I always try to say, we never know how we're going to react to a situation until we're actually in that situation. So that being said, and I understand that everybody's brain works differently, and it's a complex situation, and everybody's going to react differently if their child is being abused. We're not saying Brianna is. But also, I have very strong feelings as a parent as well, because I can imagine if I ever find myself in that situation, and I hope that I don't ever, I can imagine absolutely physically going to her location and not leaving until I have my daughter in my car and we are out of there. I cannot even imagine, but I understand that's not fully within my control either. And it's not fully within Vicki's control. So I don't know, but I don't like Vicki's response at all. And I think she's gross.
Well, we saw her protecting him and what she thought was protecting Brianna in those clips. We saw that. But you think that you're protecting your daughter by not saying anything, but you're not protecting her and you're not protecting her kids. My parents, I'm sure, thought that, right? I'm sure that they thought the kids didn't see anything. Well, when Matt went to my 3 kids to ask them if it was okay to marry me, or to propose to me, the first thing that my son, my oldest, said to him was, you're not going to hurt our mom, right? You're not going to push and hit our mom, right? You're not protecting her if this is the case.
Yeah.
You're only making it worse.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. I think we have to take a hard line as parents, and our jobs until the day we die, doesn't matter how old our children are, is to protect them, is to do anything and to sacrifice yourself, everything about yourself, your safety, your well-being, your image, your finances, everything is up for being sacrificed if it means to save your child. That's how I feel. And so I do not like seeing Vicki on that red carpet telling everybody, they just need to shut up. You are minimizing the fuck out of what that man said. He said multiple things that night that were not okay. Yes. His demeanor, his aura, his words, his tone, none of it was okay. It was disgusting. It was disturbing. And I am really, 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 really sick and tired and pissed off about Vicki and Brianna at every chance bringing up the fact that they quickly deflected the fact that he went to Afghanistan. Oh, he went to Afghanistan. He went to Afghanistan. He's a Marine. He went to Afghanistan. You are weaponizing people's feelings about how grateful we are to those who sacrifice themselves to fight for us and our freedom. And thank you for your service, as I've said before, Ryan.
Yeah.
At the same time, these are 2 fucking separate things, and don't make them the same. And don't use that he went to Afghanistan as a way to get everybody off of his back. That is bullshit. So are you saying that every person who goes to Afghanistan has a free pass to behave this way and everybody just needs to shut up because they went to Afghanistan? That's bullshit. And not everybody who went to Afghanistan behaves that way. And I also think it's dangerous to correlate the two, because now you're walking on like, you know what I mean? Like it's a fine line. And like now you're kind of painting a picture that like going to Afghanistan could cause you to behave that way. Or I don't know. I can't really complete my full thought, but it's like in my brain, I just see so many things wrong with how Vicki's correlating that he went to Afghanistan. So everybody just needs to shut up. Like it's bullshit.
What I wish they would have said, or her, Vicki, would have said is, you know what? The clips that are coming up that people are talking about, that was a bad period for their marriage. And they're doing so much better. They're so happy with their children. Their business is thriving. Say that. Don't blame it on the person, the viewer that saw in black and white what happened. Just like Danny and Nia. Nia could have said, Danny is dealing with this. He's going to counseling. I do not condone it. This is not a reflection of me. That's what should be said. You need to own it because we've all seen it in black and white. That's all.
Well, and I like, you just hit the nail right on the head when you said, don't blame the viewer. And that's exactly what these women are doing. They're blaming the fucking viewer. And it's like, no, your son-in-law, and in Nia's case, your husband got you guys in this place with the viewers. Exactly. That's who needs to take responsibility for that behavior. Yeah. Basically, to put a period on this, I don't know why we would expect Vicki to ever have the right answer, because the woman is allergic to the right answer. She never has the right answer, never has the right take to save her life, never lands on the right side of history to save her life. So this is just Vicki being Vicki. And it's more evidence, I've made videos about this, to the fact that Vicki has not evolved in any manner in the last 20 years. At all.
We're seeing that.
Wild.
We're seeing that day to day on Ultimate Girls Trip in Orange County.
God, and why did they double punish us and put her on 2 fucking shows a week? Okay, nobody asked for that, and it feels like punishment.
I'm still waiting on Christian Grace Snow to say something.
I would love to hear from him because he is beloved, and I've met him, and I really, really liked him. I still cannot understand or make sense of him aligning himself with somebody like her. And I'm not trying to judge him. I can't help that what's going on there.
He sent me a DM when I posted about them wearing Harajuku-esque clothing in Japan. I made that whole post about how hurtful that was. And he sent me a DM and said, I'm so sorry, Katie. And I just responded, I'm not sure how to answer you, because you're telling me you're sorry, but you're platforming that and you're supporting that. So why would you even message me? So I'm really interested to see what he says. Yes.
That's a tough one, because obviously he didn't have to reach out to you. He felt compelled to reach out to you. And I think that's a really nice thing to do, to acknowledge. He could have just stayed quiet and been like, ooh, I don't want to touch that, you know?
Yeah.
But he chose to put himself out there. And I think that, I appreciate that. At the same time, it's kind of a mind fuck, because you're like,
exactly.
But you're also going to go to work with her the next day, so to speak, and platform her.
Exactly. That was tough for me.
Yeah, that's tough. I have one more hot topic, and then I would love to get into Atlanta. Okay, a lot of people have DM'd me and asked that we respond to this. So I don't have it right in front of me, but as Andy Cohen often does, he put out a post saying, give me all your hot takes. It's okay. The controversial ones, lay it on me. Like, give me everything. And I'm like, boy, is this man a glutton for punishment. It's like he's a glutton for punishment. So he writes that. And of course, now everybody has reposted one commenter's question, and they're basically calling him out and saying, how can you continue to platform all of these MAGA housewives? Like, how can you continue to do that? And his response. Okay, give me the response, because there's the actual response and how I saw it in my head.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the wrong one. But he basically said it would be a disservice if we didn't show different people's point of views. And this is not about politics. This is about friendship within women. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, right?
Yes. That's basically the way I read it, or I saw it too. And it basically was just your basic vanilla run of the mill. It shouldn't be about politics. It's not about politics. I don't like that. I don't like that because, number one, Andy Cohen is a very smart man. He knows when we're talking about MAGA, we're not talking about politics. It's not about politics. It's about humanity. And it's about the decent treatment of human beings of all races, all colors, all sexualities, all gender assignments, like all the things. And Andy knows that. And he is a gay man. And so it is always shocking that as we've gotten 10 years deep into this MAGA thing, that he rages against publicly, but at the same time, kind of like Christian Grey Snow reaching out to you, but also aligning himself, with Vicki Gunvalson, it's a mind fuck because Andy, pick a lane. Like you're speaking out publicly on numerous occasions against MAGA and against Trump specifically. But then at the same time, you are pulling a lot of strings at this huge network, Bravo, and you are endorsing so many well-known MAGA problematic housewives who've exhibited extremely problematic behavior. I'm not talking, they talked about somebody's marriage and put rumors out there about them cheating. I'm talking like homophobia, transphobia, racism, known, documented, and you still choose to put them on our TV screens and platform them. So it is in contradiction. Andy's actions are in contradiction to his words, and I always will have a problem with that. And I'm not the only one. That's why this has been so highlighted and it's gone viral. What are your thoughts on that whole thing?
The exact same as yours. Like we've said many times, to say, I don't want to talk about politics was 20 years ago. It is so important right now because you're right. There is a difference between MAGA and a Republican. Very much so. He is very vocal about his politics and what he thinks and believes and who he supports, about Mom Donnie, about everyone. You can just look at his ex or his threads. Yes. But you are platforming women who vote against you wanting to marry the man that you say you're in love with right now, or you having children the way that you got your beautiful children. They don't want that for gay couples. What if one of your kids is trans and wants to be in a sport or something? They're against that. So you have to be very careful what you say. And now he's being, accused of not wanting to talk about MAGA, and it's wrong. I think that's completely wrong, especially for a gay man in the United States.
Agreed. And when Andy and others say, it's not about politics, we're not talking about a fucking tax code. We're not talking about a measure to take a little money away from the school system, which is bad, or fix potholes or not fix potholes, or we're not talking about Bush versus Clinton. This is a whole different world. We have a malignant narcissist, in my very strong opinion, running this country. And Andy has spoken out against it, not because that alleged malignant narcissist is saying, we're not going to fix the potholes. We're not going to give, we're going to put a 5-cent tax on this or that. It's not about that fucking bullshit. That is all minutia and does not even register on the fucking Richter scale for people these days. We're talking about humanity. We're talking about lives. We're talking about so much, like these are bigger topics, and Andy knows the weight that carries. And he knows that these women are for that. They're for all this toxicity. They're for marginalized communities not being treated and being allowed to live in the same manner as not marginalized communities. So it bugs me because he's a really smart man. He knows what he's doing, but to give a really basic vanilla answer like, shouldn't really be about politics. Well, we're not saying it's about politics. MAGA isn't about politics. It's about humanity. Okay, shall we get into our peaches? Because I just love these ladies.
Let's talk about it.
So we're talking reunion part 1, Atlanta. What are you laughing at?
We finally get to see Jarvis, and he's wearing sunglasses inside. And I was like, we can't even see your face.
I know. And I'm like, what? He's still wearing a level of like a mask. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we can't see his full face, but everybody was relieved. I saw some comments online where they're like, well, shockingly, he's a good looking man.
He is for what we saw.
I think I don't know why people expected him to not be attractive, but okay, that sucks.
I know. The outfits are pretty impressive. I got to say, Kelly's. This whole like ring around her, I couldn't sit with that. That looks so uncomfortable. It looks like a Michaels craft shop. I'm not sure. I did not like it at all.
Oh, same. And I knew you were going to say that. I don't typically like any dress that does too much. Like that's just got the big, like, ring around your neck or whatever. Shamia had something like that too. They all looked beautiful, I will say. But I don't like, it's just, it borders on like costumey to me. That being said, I'm here for the show. I appreciate that they're putting on a show and giving us something interesting to look at. Versus, I'll take Kelly and Shamia's dress any day over a Heather Dubrow in your last season.
Yes,
Amazon burgundy dress. I don't even know what that was. So I will take these dresses, these big dresses, any day. The only dress I actually really liked was Angela's. I thought Angela looked she looked beautiful. She looked stunning. The dress fit her well. I thought it was a great color on her. The only I have some critiques, but I'm not going to go because I'm not a fashion style icon, but Drew's glam was very off. It was very off.
So was Shamia's. Her cheeks and K. Michelle's, her cheeks were too much. K. Michelle had my favorite because it was really stunning, but it wasn't overdone and it fit her body. A lot of times the dress looks beautiful but doesn't fit someone's body. And you have to think, and I told you this before, a sitting dress or a standing dress. They're very different. But I am harder on Kelly because she said she set the standard for fashion on Atlanta. So when she came out, I was like, nope. Okay, but backing up, going to what you said about Heather Dubrow's dress. So I think she's trying to be more relatable because her and her husband are selling things on TikTok Shop. So she bought her reunion dress last year on Amazon. It was $60-something. She told People Magazine that. She told all of us. So in the middle, this is a funny story. In the middle of the reunion, she kept saying, "Oh, I'm sweating. I'm so hot. I'm sweating."
And she kept polyester.
So I'm sitting there and she's like waving her. And I said, do you think maybe it's the fabric? I said that. And I totally thought that they would have used that because she just gave me the dirtiest look. And I was like, you think it's the fabric? Because you're sitting in like a plastic bag, basically. Sitting on a reunion
near
stage.
A flame because that shit is combustible. You will go up in flames with that toxic material. Do not. I would fear for her life if she stood next to a flame. Yeah, that dress was so lame. And everything with Heather Dubrow is calculated. And it's always trying too hard. And it's like, don't try to be something you're not. You're not relatable. You'll never be relatable. You're snobby. You're above it all. You can't even stand when somebody says the word cunt. No, the Amazon dress is not going to do it. And then she goes too far. It's like you could have been relatable and gotten a Legence dress, or you could have been relatable and gotten something off Revolve. I don't know, but she didn't have to go to fucking Amazon and almost go up in flames and sweat your coochie off.
I know, next to me. Damn.
Yeah, great. Hopefully you didn't catch a whiff of anything. Ew, that's gross. Okay. Okay, obviously, let's address the booty in the room, and that is Drew's nip tuck, using her words. So she told everybody, I got a nip tuck. She was very public about it. She bravely put her before pictures online, and Kelly tried to use it as shade. I'm like, but Drew already put them online, so that's not shade.
And who cares? Good for her. No, she's doing something to make herself feel good.
I am sorry. I've seen a million bodies. Drew's is great. Drew looked fine before, and I'm all for enhancements. I promote it. I'm going to get my own enhancements someday. Trust me on that. I'm already doing my research. But Drew's nip tuck, and I thought it was so freaking. Well, I didn't like how she's like, well, it's not leaking, so I think we're good. And then K. Michelle goes, the mouth. I love when K. Michelle goes, the mouth is leaking.
I know. Okay, wait. About this nip tuck, do you think it was a sponsored thing?
Oh, absolutely. And I hope to baby Jesus above that I get a sponsored nip tuck. Please.
Yeah. Well,
bring it on.
The only reason why I was wondering is she is having to disclose a lot of her money things in court. And this all happened kind of around the same time.
Oh.
And I hope her lawyer told her, this is not a good look. If you're trying to claim you need spousal support, I'm just thinking back to my own prior situations that I really hope it was a sponsored she didn't pay for anything thing, because that would be a bad look if you're in court fighting for custody and money.
Yeah, because everything is scrutinized. every purchase is scrutinized when you're going through divorce and it's contentious and finances are a topic of discussion. Like, yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I think she looks great. She looked great before. She looks great now. Like I said, the glam was off, but that's okay. I did think it was funny that they were like, kind of looks a little like Porsha over there.
Well, that photo did look just like Porsha.
It looked a lot like Porsha. So I was like, oh, is this a Jen Pedranti obsessed with Tamara situation? I don't know.
But she's not going to wear her old extensions.
Oh,
I
no.
swear.
Well, maybe she needed to, because I'm just saying the whole glam, the whole thing was off. And Drew, we have seen what Drew is capable of. The woman is drop dead gorgeous. I just was sad for whoever did her glam, because it was like, they could do better. She could do better. She's a gorgeous canvas. Don't do that to our girl.
Yes, agree.
I did not like that. I thought it was so freaking funny when they did the montage of Porsha's mom. He was the wrong damn
I know,
one.
that was so funny over and over and over.
And then when they slowed it down, he was the wrong damn one. Emphasis on he, because little did Miss Diane know that all she needed was a she to be the right one.
Okay, this could sound so mean, but I've told you guys that I've hung with Kordell before. This was like
group date,
long time ago. I forgot how much of a boxhead he is.
Yeah, he's not, I wouldn't say he's the most attractive house husband to come along. I don't know.
It's like, I was like, well, damn, I don't remember.
I know. And I can make fun of him because I did not like him for Porsha. Truly, based on what we saw, I did not like that man for Porsha.
Out of his own mouth.
Oh, yes, exactly. I did not like that man, but I am grateful when they divorced. It was like Porsha became Porsha. She became iconic. She was allowed to be herself. And look at that woman now. Like,
she's still blossoming.
Still blossoming. And he was like, I hate to blame everything, but it's like, I also kind of love to blame everything on a man. So here we go. He was holding her back. He was holding her back. If you watch the early seasons of Atlanta, I can't remember how many he was on, at least the first one or whatever, that she was her first season. He was holding her back, and we were missing out on the real iconic Porsha. So I'm grateful they got a divorce. I'm grateful he was the wrong damn one.
Well, in her defense, we are Southern and we are raised to be a pillar for our husbands. That's it. That's what our mothers want us to be. Our mothers want, and this is old school mom. Our moms are probably the same age. Our moms want us just to be there for.
Getting the shakes right now, as you sound like,
They want us just to be there for our husbands. That's it. So, in her defense, when he's like, "Do you want a career? Or do you want a kid?" I was like, "Whoa!" Flashback to my childhood.
Whoa!
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I am from Southern somewhere, but that's Southern California, and this bitch cannot be tamed. And I cannot be bothered to serve a man, to be submissive to a man. Of all people, no. Yeah. Good luck. I wish my mom told my husband, good luck. I wish a motherfucker would try with my daughter.
That's amazing. I wish I was raised like that. Oh my gosh, my life would have been so different.
Well, I mean, there's good and bad. Like there are, sometimes the way people are raised are like polar opposites. I would say, based on what I know of your childhood, you and I were raised polar opposites, but there's good and bad. Like truly, my parents gave me a lot of leeway, and we were able to talk about anything and everything in our house, and the kids were always allowed to be involved in conversations and have a point of view, which probably was annoying to a lot of my teachers growing up, because when you're immature, but you think you can have a point of view and you think you know it all, it's kind of like, shut up, bitch, let the adults handle this. But it also raised me to be somebody who isn't afraid to speak out on things, who's very, not afraid to speak out on things, I guess I will just say. And my husband was raised the opposite. His parents used to literally tell him, like, shut up, what do you do? What do you know? You're a kid. You know what I mean? Whereas my parents were like, oh, wait, Jami, what do you think about that? So it just was an interesting way of being raised. But yeah, my parents are both baddies. My mom is a freaking 5-foot-something pit bull. Don't mess with that woman. You don't want the smoke from Terry.
I love that.
Yes. Okay. Also on the topic of Drew, okay, corny as fuck when she took out that slate thing and went, cut.
I rolled my eyes so bad. I was like,
too.
This is so stupid.
Can we not? Like, you're not going to have a Kenya megaphone moment like that. I don't know what moment you're trying to have, but it was so corny.
I think Drew is a fantastic castmate for these women.
Yeah.
I think she adds a lot to the show, but I don't think she's as iconic as the other members, as some of the other members.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know,
I used to think that as well. And I go back and forth on Drew. Here's what I will say about Drew. I think she's earned her spot because Drew from Chicago, turns out she's actually a Reed assassin. A lot of people don't know that about Drew if you're not really paying attention. She actually is a Reed assassin, and it would take a baddie to go up against her. Like, I would love to see her and Angela, or her and Porsha. But 1 second, my husband's FaceTiming me, but I have to hold on. I'm going to answer it and tell him that we're recording.
Okay.
Hi, I'm recording with Katie. Do you want to?
Hello.
Here's my husband.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's on his bike trip.
Hi, babe. Can you hear me? Oh my God, he's literally just frozen. Yes, he is on this long ass motorcycle trip. They're going to Sturgis. They're like in Montana. They went to Little Bighorn. They drove, like, they're just going to all the places. So anyway, he's trying to check in, but they have like really spotty service.
Yeah.
Okay, let me turn my notes back on because otherwise.
Yeah, I keep looking down at my notes because I'm getting lost.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Yeah, so back to Drew. Drew is definitely a Reed assassin, and I will give her flowers for that. But there are times when she's very corny, and times when she kind of seems checked out, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's the contentious divorce, and maybe she'll be better now that she's officially divorced. But that's my thought on Drew.
Oh, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's Gary? I got lost. I tried to watch it twice to see. She was like, I know Gary's suing you. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
K. Michelle spoke on it. I want to. No, Kelly spoke
suing
on
Kelly. Yeah, he's suing Kelly.
Gary,
something like she owes him money or something. She borrowed money.
I think isn't Gary Black? Isn't Black's government name Gary? Weren't they talking about Black? Okay, so all I know is Black is the guy that Drew's been kind of sort of seeing.
Right.
But then there's these headlines that came out that he allegedly has taken advantage of women and like taken their money, maybe. I didn't really read the stuff. And so that's kind of why K. Michelle was like, well, that's why I, didn't want anything to do with that man. That man's been doing this to all these women, yada, yada. But Drew was sticking up for him and saying, well, there's not very much evidence to call him that. What did they call him? They called him
the PayPal assassin or the PayPal something.
They used some big word. I forgot what it was. And she's like, well, there's not a lot of evidence. And K. Michelle's like, but there is, So I don't know if the Gary is Black's government name, but they were talking about Black as it relates to the headlines and him allegedly not being nice to women when it comes to money.
Yikes. I can't believe Andy asked Drew, by the way, have you consummated your relationship?
I know, dude.
Why do you need to know that? Why would you ask that? That's weird.
It is, and I just feel like it was so like 15, 20 years ago, because back then Andy would be like, oh, tell me all the work you've had done. Ooh, how many cc's in those breasts and this and that. Like, he would get into it, whereas like now it's kind of cringe to go that far, because it's like, why do women have to disclose all that? Men never have to.
Right.
Why do women have to disclose? Yeah.
Yes. I don't like that. I was like, it made me feel very uncomfortable. I got to be honest with you. If somebody were to ask me like, oh, did you and Matt have sex last night? It's none of your fucking business. I
know. I always cringe, and I'm actually a Housewives viewer who doesn't really want to get too much into people's sex lives.
Neither do I.
Let that be your, thing with your husband or your partner. I don't really need to know. I find it cringy, and I don't really need to know.
No, we're good. I'm good on that.
Yeah. Okay. Also, Porsha, first off, Porsha was the MVP of part one. Okay.
Yes.
As she always is. And Porsha, if there's one thing about Porsha, she's always going to clock in. She's always going to deliver. She's going to be quick with it. And this was no different. When she said, she had so many lines, but she said something like, well, she can't be worried about Simon's house when she's staying in Shamia's house. And then she said something like, you can't be asking for support. She goes, what'd she say? You can't be something when you're asking for support, you know, or what would she say?
I cannot remember the exact words, but she did shut it down so fast. Porsha is so quick. She's so on it. She doesn't care. She has all these that's like XYZ. She just comes out. I wish I was that quick. She's incredible.
Porsha is freaking good. And speaking of Porsha, I did see that recently she was awarded the mansion that her and Simon used to live in through a quit claim deed. She was also awarded $1.5 million equity reimbursement, as well as a Rolls-Royce Ghost. But she might have also been awarded, for lack of a better term, any debt that's assigned to that house. So I don't think that you just get I think you get the debt along with, you know, the value of the house.
Yes.
So whatever that is, and I know Simon spoke out on it, tried to shade her for it. He's like, yeah, she also inherited $8 million in debt. Okay, I'm not going to dive into the weeds of that. But like Porsha told, what's her face? I can't remember what she was talking to. Maybe it was Kelly. It was Kelly. And she's like, and I have been paying all the bills very well. You know, it's like if she's maintaining it, let her maintain it. And who is Kelly to talk about, well, whose name is on the house? Kelly, you don't have a house. Whose name's on your house? Like Angela so eloquently asked her. She goes, whose name is on the deed of the house that you're renting? You know, like you don't have a house. And this is another iconic line from Porsha, and I wrote it down. She says something like, you've been kicked out of your house, kicked out of your business. And then she goes, ... kicked out of your whole life.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
I mean, these are just facts, and she's just stating the facts. I was laughing so hard. Not that that's funny when that happens to a woman, but my God, the way that Porsha delivers it is hilarious.
Kelly has been very forthcoming with saying she's the standard. She was on Carlos King saying, I grew up with it all. Helicopters in the front yard. You know, so if you want to say that, but then we see you on camera having to live in your friend's house for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 10 months or however long it was till your quote unquote house was ready, you can't be saying things like that. You can't. You didn't set the standard. You know, you didn't look where it got you kind of thing. Also, Porsha getting the house, yes, she gets the debt and she was awarded the 1.5 you said. Well, Simon,
equity.
Right. Oh, in equity. Okay. Simon allegedly is in deep money troubles, right? Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. So he got deported, I want to say.
Right.
I think he got deported, yeah.
So she got awarded it, but they were legally married. It's half hers. And if he's deported and he can't do business in the U.S., then she would immediately get the house anyways.
Yeah, that's what makes sense. And now it allows her to mortgage the house, to sell the house without having to ask him or even involve him.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. Oh my God. I died. I literally, my soul left my body when Porsha was impersonating K. Michelle.
Oh my God, that was so funny. It was pretty good too.
It was so good. And oh my God, it gave me life. It was so freaking funny. And then both of them got into like a yelling match. And K. Michelle was like, you've lived a lot of lives. And Porsha goes, so has your body.
Oh my God, these women are too much.
Me out. Porsha clears these women every single time.
I know. And Andy is enjoying it. Andy is loving this reunion. He was not like that at mine. He wasn't like that at any other ones that we've seen recorded. He was loving it. Even when they were yelling and screaming, he couldn't get them to shut up and he had to get Drew's fake stupid prop. He was still smiling. Do you remember him on New Jersey? He was like, shut up. Remember?
Yes.
And he was mad. He was not like that with these women. He is thoroughly enjoying himself.
No, he literally walked off stage in the Salt Lake City reunion. He's like, fuck, man. I'm like, what do we got? Like, he threw a little like bitch fit, actually. But yeah, I mean, your reunion wasn't fun. You know, OC isn't fun. Atlanta is fun. And everybody agrees. It's like, we all laugh. These women put on a show and it is just spectacular to watch. And just the way Porsha clears these women, then K. Michelle goes, well, you need to close your glory hole. That's what you need to do.
Oh my God, that's what I wrote down. I was like, that's fantastic.
I noticed that K. Michelle likes to talk about holes. Like she brings up holes
so much. How many times did we hear the word hole this season?
So many holes.
So many holes.
Which hole? Close your glory hole.
Even the holes in her body that came undone. She talks about those holes too. Like, we got a lot of holes.
It's a lot. Just the glory hole took the cake for me, though.
That was so funny.
But the difference about Atlanta, the difference with Atlanta is that they can shade each other and still have fun and kiki and film together and laugh together. And also, for the most part, give each other their props. Literally after they say the worst shade, like the best shade ever, 5 minutes later, they could be like, but you know what? I really do want to be your friend. And here's why. Or, you know, like, I just like, dude, it's like OC could never, ever, ever. They could never.
Well, look what K. Michelle said, and they replayed it. And it was my favorite part of the finale when she was sitting on the stage talking at her concert. And she was like, you know, these women, I've seen them look beautiful and get up and get ready and hold it down. And they were flashing back to it. And that is what it's about, right? This show is about conflict resolution and showing real female friendships, but it is a job. And these women all show up to work, they clock in, they do their work authentically, let's just say, most of them. But they can work with one another. Like they can show up and still give flowers where flowers are due, shade each other and make up and move on. This is a perfectly produced show. And it seems way less self-produced than like any other of the franchises to me.
I agree with you. And that's why the Atlanta women do it better. That's why the Atlanta women are amazing housewives. And that's why they really are the GOAT for so many reasons, but that's one of them. That they can do conflict and resolution so well. Whereas these entitled white women just don't know how to fucking do that. They're going to live in the past like a Shannon. You did this to me. You're lucky. I can't believe I filled with you after you called me a drunk 20 billion years ago in the ice ages. I have
so much to say about that when we discuss.
I can't wait we are going to talk about Girls Trip. I've been getting so many DMs. Like, when are you guys going to cover Girls Trip? So one thing I will say, and I know we're talking about Atlanta, is that you and I are committed to getting our recaps of Ultimate Girls Trip out much sooner after the episode airs. We just had like a scheduling weird thing this week, but we're going to be on it. And we're absolutely going to be recapping Girls Trip. And in fact, we're going to do that right after we're done with Atlanta. Something I hated when it came to K. Michelle, you're probably going to agree.
Okay.
I don't like her take on, well, all men cheat, so I'm not going to let a little cheating mess up my relationship. You know, I'm not going to let a few strokes, as she put it, get in the way of my marriage. And I hated the everybody cheats, so let them just do it. And I also, this is what I hated even more. I didn't like it. And one of the women endorsed it. It might have been Shamia. She said something like, when we have these procedures, it does something to our sex life and we don't think about that. And these men have needs. And no, excuse me.
Again.
Back up. I don't care about your stupid fucking needs. If I elect to go have something done to my body that causes trauma because it makes me feel better, it boosts my self-esteem. If I'm going to have something done to my body and it causes trauma and I have to heal, you're going to sit there and you're going to help me heal. If you're a good man and you truly love me and respect me, emphasis on respect, you're going to take care of me and you're going to go jack off in the shower when you need to release the beast. Okay. You're not going to go cheat on me and mess up our whole relationship because I'm healing from something. That is the weirdest. I don't want to call it weird because I'm trying not to judge, but I hated it. I hated that K. Michelle said that. That sets women back and I hated it.
Well, it goes back to what I said a minute ago. It is the Southern upbringing that just screams Southern. Like, oh, it's okay. He needs, men have needs. We have to take care of our men. That's what it's giving. I don't like that either. That totally cringed me out. And it's just, you're not giving yourself enough self-respect. Because if he respected you, that wouldn't happen. And if you respected you, you would have been gone by now. I would be gone that day. I'd be like, okay, that's what you chose. I'm out.
Yeah. So if a man breaks both of his legs and he can't fix whatever needs fixing around the house, so does that give you a free pass? Like, well, you've got needs. I'm sure that wouldn't be the case. No. I just think it's so, I actually cringe when anybody talks about a man's needs. It literally grosses me out and gives me the severe ick. I get so agitated as if a man's needs to be propped up above any other thing going on in this fucked up world.
Gross.
Like, are you joking?
That's gross.
Take care of yourself in the fucking shower, okay? And give me a break. Ugh, I hated that. Okay, yeah. You caught this, obviously, and they're going to address it. But Angela was like, oh yeah, well, this is not covered by that cease and desist. To Shamia.
I cannot wait for them to get more into this.
I know. Ooh, I mean, if I were to guess, it's because Angela came for her marriage and made some dicey claims. And so we'll see what that's all about.
Again, that tells you maybe there is some merit to her claims. Because if it was untrue, you'd be like, that's not true. I'm not giving any smoke to this. Like, whatever. You can just go on with your accusations. But obviously something maybe drum up some controversy that's true.
Well, and on the other token too, maybe on the same token, a lot of people could have the take that like, listen, if you're going to make such a salacious claim like that, and you're going to do it more than once, and you're not going to really ever back down from it fully, maybe it is true because everybody knows you can get sued for defamation. But again, that could also just be somebody, I'm not calling Angela ignorant by any means because she's not, but like a lot of people make claims that aren't necessarily true because they think it makes good TV or they're pissed off in the moment, or I don't know. There's a lot of things that could be going on. I will still say, I don't know if it's true that Shamia has, done anything with anybody on the Hawks or with anybody outside her marriage. I'm not here to say she did. I just don't see enough evidence yet, but I do find it interesting.
Well, and let's just also say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a cease and desist is not suing somebody.
No, it's
Anyone
not.
Can send a cease and desist. You can go on legalzoom.com and come up with one. It is not, you can have it notarized, you can send it, you can have it served to somebody, whatever. It's not, she's not being sued. She's right. It's just a way to say you better shut up. Or
it's
I will
written
sue
warning.
You.
Yeah, It's a written warning that, hey, let me remind you that you're saying things about me and I could get my lawyer involved, but I haven't at this point, but I can, so you better shut up.
Right.
There is a housewife who allegedly loves like to make it her, it's like a side hobby to send cease and desist just for funsies, multiple
Heather?
cease and thank you. I wasn't going to say the name. I was going to say it rhymes with Pether Poubreau, but yeah, I mean, I've heard the streets talking numerous times that she loves to send a legal letter, apparently, allegedly.
I have heard that too.
Well, we haven't gotten one yet, so. Off-camera event. Oh, when K. Michelle, first of all, Andy, of course, dove into K. Michelle's a performance, I should say, on the show. And he's like, what would you do differently? She said everything. And I appreciated that. She fully admitted that I had more action. She didn't say action, but I had more conversations off camera than I did on or something like that. She says, I would do everything differently. I wouldn't be listening to all these outside sources. And they're like, well, outside sources. And she goes on to say something like, well, I did have bloggers reach out and tell me, here we go with the bloggers again. I did have bloggers reach out and tell me that these women are digging up information or want to know information on K. Michelle.
Okay. So I have something to say about this. This has been really irking me. Bravo is very tough on us talking to quote unquote bloggers, podcasts, journalists, content creators. Okay. I get that because some people, not this person, some people leak information have bloggers do hate for one housewife so they get more love, whatever. Yet Bravo invites and has on payroll some of these quote unquote bloggers. We saw it in the Orange County premiere and in the Ultimate Girls Trip premiere for their 20th celebration, whatever. They hired people, including some of our friends, to come out and do red carpet interviews, to post TikToks, well then, why is the cross section of us getting friendly with the quote unquote bloggers, meaning us, the housewives, talking to them, but you can employ them, but then we're not allowed to talk to them?
Yeah.
It's like
I think
the
it's a
weirdest
great point.
Turn of events. Like you want to hire them and us to be friendly, answer all their questions, follow them on social media. But then when they're DMing us like, oh, we're so sorry this happened to you, we're here for you, that's a problem.
Correct. And it's
that
almost,
makes no sense.
Katie, that pisses me off. And I think that's a great point. It's almost like Bravo is taking the stance that if you can't beat them, join them. And if you can't beat these bloggers, because at first bloggers were villainized, right? It was like, oh, these bloggers, we don't want them as a part of a storyline. Why are all these bloggers trying to be housewives? And they're trying to have their 15 minutes and they're ruining the show by reaching out and da-da-da-da-da. So it's like you want to villainize them and make them look bad and say that they're, ruining the show. And you want to like admonish certain housewives for talking to bloggers. But then you go and like employ them and put them on your payroll. And I would imagine that there are very strict terms and conditions, both legally in their contract and also like some unspoken shit. That's like, hey, we're going to pay you a lot of money. Going to take you to all the cool Bravo events. You're going to mingle with the housewives. You're probably going to trade phone numbers and text them at night. You're going to kiki with them. All the things. But it basically, it's like a wink and a nod of like, but you're also not going to talk shit about Bravo, right? You're going to like uplift Bravo. You're not going to talk shit on Andy, not going to talk shit on Alex Baskin, not going to say anything bad about Bravo. You're going to encourage all your followers to watch the show because it's the best thing ever because we're paying you, right? And you don't want that paycheck to run out. I'm making all this up, but in my head, I can't help but think, well, we've all of a sudden seen this influx of Bravo bloggers on Bravo's payroll.
Exactly.
Like, literally right after all the shit with OC.
Well, my production company, I was screamed in my face to not speak to bloggers, even though I wasn't. And the one that accused me of something, they then platformed. My production company put her on the show. She said she didn't want to be on the show and she didn't want her 15 minutes. Well, she did. She signed her waiver. She agreed to be on. She lied about everything. Like, we're uplifting her, but then you're not allowing us to speak to her. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I
think it's a great point. And I think it's an interesting conversation. I think you and I should talk more about it as this whole new wave of Bravo bloggers, being on Bravo payroll progresses. Because I think it's interesting and it's something new. This is not anything that's been happening for
and
forever. This is new.
You can see the shift. We know one account. We're not going to say it, but that's an account of women, and they used to have very, very strong opinions and say how they feel. The one of them used to post a TikTok like pretty much every day calling out a housewife or a person on Bravo. Now it's crickets. Now it's all positivity. It's, well, what do you guys think? We want to hear what you think because they don't want to say their opinion. So and you can see the shift because now they're on the payroll. It's very interesting because now you have to wonder as a viewer and a listener, you have to wonder who is actually being contrite with what they think and who's on a payroll. Like how I want to listen to someone's actual opinions.
Yes, totally agree with you. More to come on that. I think you and I will have more to say on that. Yeah. Specifically, I want to put a period on things unless you have anything else that you want to bring up. I want to know who you think is going to sit in that mystery chair on the reunion stage.
Maybe it's Cynthia. She's about to come out, right?
Yes, but I don't know that there would be a reason for Cynthia to be in a special chair. I think she's going to sit on the couch. If I were to guess, I think it's Kandi Burruss.
Oh, shit. Do you really?
And the reason I think it's Kandi Burruss, I don't know. I'm just getting a sneaky suspicion that maybe it would be her because how interesting would it be? Because she's been a topic of discussion because the quote unquote, according to K. Michelle, the Atlanta Mean Girls, they're all Candy's friends. And you saw it come up in the reunion. And then Shamia kind of backed off and she's like, well, I don't want to get too much into that because these are my friends too. So there's a lot of context missing that's going on in Candy's friend group. but it's been hinted at and brought up on the show. And now at the reunion, I can imagine Kandi sitting in that seat. And I almost want to say I heard Candi's voice in the montage of what's to come on the reunion. I could be wrong, but I know that voice from anywhere. Well, so we'll see if my prediction comes true. I don't know. That would make sense to me, but maybe not.
Well, all I think back to is both my seasons, my production company, the showrunner telling me, we will never surprise you with someone. We can't do that. If somebody's coming on like your ex-husband or an ex-best friend, we will tell you. We won't tell you what's going to be said, but we will tell you if somebody's coming on. So that would be interesting if they were going to ambush the women or some of the women with Kandi. That'd be interesting.
Or maybe it's not an ambush and they all already know, but they have to play like they don't know.
True. Very true. That could
be that. Anything else on Atlanta?
I think that's it.
I'm excited. I am excited because I think the tides are going to turn and we're going to see K. Michelle and Shamia. I don't like to see two women getting into it, but we're going to see their friendship turn because something happened allegedly off camera, right? So they're going to get into that. And then I think we're going to get into the cease and desist of it all between Angela and Shamia. So I'm excited for that.
Me too.
All right, Katie, let's get out of here.
All right, BMWs, we need your help. Our spicy hot takes have landed us on the Bravo sell block, and you can put money on our books by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and giving us a good comment on YouTube and subscribing to our YouTube, please.
Yes, everybody subscribe to our YouTube. I meant to say this at the top of the show, but yes, Bravo's Most Wanted is now on YouTube. Go search us up. Subscribe to our channel. You can see us rolling our eyes. You can see all the props. You can see our dogs. You can see our fits, which sometimes they're better than others, at least for me. So, I'm a slob most days. But today I'm wearing a TikTok shop special. And if you were on our YouTube channel, you would see it.
Yes.
Thank you, Katie. That means a lot coming from you. And if you guys want to leave us a voice message, ask us any of your burning questions. If you have a comment on the show, if you just want to send us your love, we would appreciate it. Go to speakpipe.com/Bravo. That's SPEAKPIPE.com/Bravo to leave us a voice message. Till next time. Bye.